Right. So I'm gonna explain to you how to use the skin editor. It's actually pretty simple, but it's maybe a bit confusing at the start. So let's create a new resource pack and make it a skin. Let's call it super duper skin. And if you click this checkbox, it will copy the original game skin data, so you can use it as a base for your new skins. So let's click OK, open this. Here you can set your image, the description, like like you could with normal resource packs. And here's the skin editor. So let me explain to you what all of this is. So here you can change the aspect ratio, so you can test at different aspect ratios to ensure that everyone can play with your skin. Otherwise, it might break when changing, when using screens with different aspect ratios. Here on the left, you have the outliner. And as you can see, this screen, which you can change here, but currently there's only one, has two layers. One for elements that go under the nodes, and one for elements that go over the nodes. So as you can see, there are different elements, and you can select them, right? The only thing you should know about this that's very important is that the order in which things are drawn is from top to bottom, which means that in this case, the funky dots will be drawn first, then the hold indicator on top, and then the multi-node hint. So it's probably reversed from what you're used to in stuff like Photoshop. Anyways, here you have the list of components. These are all the components you can place. They have different uses, as you can probably guess. Some of them are purely cosmetic, like the panels. These are used for stuff like the title box here, like the purple part that goes underneath the text. And here on the right, you have the inspector, where you can change the different parameters and values of the component you have selected. Finally, you have the resources tab, where you can import the different kinds of resources like textures and fonts used in your skin. You can import animated textures. You have to import them as a group of PNGs. And currently there's no way to edit the FPS. It's hard-coded to 24, but it will be able to be edited in very soon. So it's gonna be editable soon. So now let's talk about the anchoring system. For that, I'm gonna use a cosmetic panel. So how does the anchor system work? Here are some parameters: anchor top, anchor left, anchor right, and anchor bottom. And these green handlers are the anchors. So what this means is that here you have the margins, which as you can see are affect the size of the object. So let's say that I want to so the way this works, is that the margins are relative to the anchors, and the anchors are a percentage of the screen. So, for example, if we set this anchor preset to be top right, as you can see, the anchor left is 1, which means that it's all the way to the right, and the anchor right is 1, which means it's all the way to the right. And so what will happen is, this will keep the margins, right? So if we go to 4/3, you can see the size remains the same. But if we apply this different preset, as you can see, the margins will be relative to the top corners. So when we change aspect ratios, it will change size, as you can see. It's a bit tricky to understand at first, but it's basically the whole way that the UI can work on different resolutions. By right-clicking on the component, you can change the anchors. There's anchor margin preset, which also changes the margin of the object, as you can see. And so you can use this to make your own different, kind of objects. If you change the anchor preset alone, it will change only the anchor and won't touch the margins. So, for example, if I make it be wide, it will take up the whole screen. It will scale with the whole screen, as you can see. Anyways, I think that's basically all that you should know about the skin editor. I will make a better tutorial soon, but in the meantime, that's all you need. Also, you can right-click here to do different things, but you probably You'll have to figure it out yourself. And yeah, there's a help button, but the guide is still, work in progress, so that will happen soon.